Now the next heading here is the various definitions that we are going to use in the chapter waves. Already you have seen that this is a time displacement curve, that is displacement along the y-axis and time along the x-axis. And this is a wave, as you know, it's a wave. This is a time displacement curve, as you know. The first definition here is amplitude. So amplitude, its definition is, it is the maximum displacement of the particle. Maximum displacement of the particle from its mean position. Here it's going to be the same. The maximum displacement of the particle is called amplitude. We call it as an amplitude. This amplitude, you can denote it using either small a or capital A. Here in this case, this is the maximum displacement, amplitude. And this one we call it as a minus A. Minus A, andre adu negative andre opposite direction anta artha. Plus andre crust, minus A andre trough anta artha. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಇದು ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಇದು ಈ ಆಂಪ್ಲಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನೇನು ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಆಂಪ್ಲಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್ ಅದೇ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. And the next definition is what is known as a period. Period. Period, its definition is the time taken. It is a time taken to produce one complete wave. Time taken to produce one complete wave is called as a period ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ, ಈ ತರ ಒಂದು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ವೇವ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ಟೈಮ್ ತಗೊಳುತ್ತೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್. ಹಾಫ್ ವೇವ್ ತಗೊಳಕಾದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ t/2 and it is denoted by t. And the next definition is frequency, which is denoted by small f. See, frequency, it is nothing but the number of waves produced in 1 second. Frequency can be defined as number of waves produced in 1 second. Number of waves produced in 1 second. It's a very important definition. See, ನೀವು ಟ್ಯೂನಿಂಗ್ ಫೋರ್ಕ್ ಅನ್ನ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಟ್ಯೂನಿಂಗ್ ಫೋರ್ಕ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಅದ್ರ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ 512 ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾ, ಒಂದು ಸೆಕೆಂಡಿಗೆ ಇಂಥ ವೇವ್ 512 ವೇವ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು ಸೆಕೆಂಡಿಗೆ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಏನು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ? ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 1/t. ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಈಸ್ ಹರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಸೈಕಲ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್, ವಿಚ್ ವಿ ರೇಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಹರ್ಟ್ಸ್. And knowing this frequency, next you come to the wavelength. What's the meaning of the wavelength? See, wavelength is the, various definitions are there. It is the distance between two consecutive crests or shafts. It is the distance between two consecutive crests or trough. Consecutive crests or troughs. That's all. Or it is a distance traversed by the wave in one oscillation. That's also the definition. It is just is the distance traversed. Is a distance traversed by disturbance in one oscillation or in production of one wave. So at one oscillation I can write this, not a problem. One oscillation or one vibration. That wavelength is denoted by lambda. Next definition is, the fifth one is wave velocity. Wave velocity, or simply you can call it as the velocity of the wave. See, wave velocity can be defined as so it is a distance traversed by a wave in a given time. You know the velocity. Velocity andre it's a distance traversed, the rate of change of displacement. Speed bandaga it's a distance traversed in a given time. Illi wave speed, wave velocity eradu onde. When it is considering one direction, speed and velocity are the same. Here the wave velocity you can write it as. So wave velocity can be defined as the distance traversed by the disturbance. Distance traversed by disturbance in a given time. Disturbance in a given time. That's all the definition. So using this definition, we derive a very, very important equation called V is equal to F lambda. It's very important. So if the question is asked what is meant by wave velocity is the velocity with which the wave propagates. That's also the definition. Or else you can write wave velocity is the distance traversed by the disturbance in a given time. That's all. Now knowing these definitions, we shall now derive a very, very important and fundamental equation, V is equal to F lambda. That would appear for 5 marks. So remembering this, now we shall derive an equation, that is to derive very important relation, V is equal to F lambda. Very, 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 very important equation. See, to start with, should write wave velocity. You first write the definition of wave velocity. It is a distance traversed by the disturbance in a given time. Andre artha, suppose ivaga one period tagoli. One period nalli what is the distance traversed? That we call it as a wavelength. You know the wavelength. Wavelength is just a distance traversed by the disturbance in one oscillation. ಈಗ ಈ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಬೇಗ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ವಿ ಸೇ ವೇವ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಎ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಶುಡ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಲೆಸ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಇದೇನಾದ್ರು ವೇವ್ ಸ್ಲೋ ಹೊರಟೋದ್ರೆ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಟೇಕ್ ಮೋರ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಯು ಸೇ ದಟ್ ವೇವ್ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಇಸ್ ಲೆಸ್. ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಇವಾಗ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಫಾರ್ ಒನ್ ವೇವ್ ಯು ಟೇಕ್ ಫಾರ್ ಒನ್ ಆಸಿಲೇಷನ್. ಫಾರ್ ಒನ್ ಆಸಿಲೇಷನ್ you know that distance traversed by the disturbance, lambda is equal to distance traversed by the disturbance, traversed by the disturbance, and capital T is the time taken to produce one wave. Time taken to produce one wave. So you substitute it here. Wave velocity, therefore wave velocity V is equal to lambda by T. Therefore V is equal to, just now we have seen in the place of 1 by T, I can write F, and therefore it is equal to F lambda. This would appear for 3 marks. It's very easy. Look. For writing this definition of wave velocity, you will get 1 mark. For writing all these data, you will get 1 mark. For getting this equation, you will get 1 mark. But don't forget to write this equation. That's all. It's a very important question for 3 marks. Whatever may be the syllabus or whatever may be the things, if you come for the wave to derive this equation, V is equal to F lambda. This is the logic. Wave velocity is equal to distance traversed by the disturbance in a given time. You consider for one oscillation or to produce one wave, both are one and the same. Lambda is equal to distance traversed by the disturbance. T is equal to time taken to produce one wave. Put in this formula, V is equal to lambda by T. Therefore V is equal to F lambda, where you know that your F is equal to 1 by T. That's all. So therefore V is equal to F lambda is the equation. It's a very, very important equation that would appear for 3 marks. Okay. Now knowing all these terms, now we switch on to other important heading called as a progressive wave. Now progressive wave and the progressive wave equation, again very important heading for 5 marks, and the problem would appear from this particular heading. What's a progressive wave? You know the term literary meaning of the progress. ಯಾರು ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದೆ 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 ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರೆಸಿವ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿನೇ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರೆಸಿವ್ ವೇವ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಇಫ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್, if there is a continuous and regular change in the phase of a particle, change in the phase of a particle, then such a wave we call it as a progressive wave. Andra nodi beginning nalli illi irutte. Suppose you start at something like 11 o'clock, wave will be here. Next 1 second nalli it will be here at 90 degree. Next 1 second ನಲ್ಲಿ it will be at 180 degree. ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ 1 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ 1 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್, ಬಟ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಬಟ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ನೋಡಿ 1 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ 1 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್. ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ನೋಡಿ 1 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ 180 to 270 90 ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ನೋಡಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ವೇವ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಫ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಇನ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಫೇಸ್, ಅವಾಗ ಅಂತ ವೇವ್ನ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರೆಸಿವ್ ವೇವ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಈಗ ಅಂತ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರೆಸಿವ್ ವೇವ್ಗೆ ಈಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಡಿರೈವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರೆಸಿವ್ ವೇವ್. ಅವಾಗ ನೀವು ಹೇಗೆ ಬರಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಯು ನೋ ದಟ್ ಆಂಪ್ಲಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ವೇವ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು, ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಆಂಪ್ಲಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್. ಇವಾಗ ಈ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಆಸಿಲೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದನ್ನ ನೀವು ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಆಸಿಲೇಷನ್ ಕೂಡ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ, ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಸೇ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಟು ದಿಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. ದೆನ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಮೀ, ಸರ್ ವಾಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್? ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಬೈ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ y is equal to a sin of omega t. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನರ್ಥ? a is the displacement, omega is the angular frequency of this wave, and t is the time taken. ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ time taken. This is a time taken. ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೀದಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ಯುವರ್ ವೇವ್. In the formation of wave, I said you will have too many particles, and first 11 o'clock this particle starts the oscillation. 11 o'clock 1 second this one, 11 o'clock 2 seconds this is the one, 11 o'clock 3 seconds this is the one. That is, as the time passes the disturbance propagates. Then this particle start the oscillation 3 seconds later. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ there is a phase difference, or you can call it as a time difference. However, if you ask me when the particle comes here, or we can call it as this point as O, this point as P. When the particle comes to the point P, if you ask me what's the displacement, then I say, so as the particle is, as the disturbance is continuously moving, when the disturbance is at A, when the disturbance is at point P, then the displacement is given by y is equal to A sin of omega t minus t dash. T minus t dash. That means this particle has taken up the oscillation little later on. Andre idu 11 ಗಂಟೆ ತಗೊಂಡಿರೋದು ಸೀನಿಯರ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್. ಇದು 11 o'clock 3 seconds ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇವೆರಡಕ್ಕೂ ಫೇಸ್ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. This is the difference, t minus t dash. Ivaga, now you have to write this one, that is y is equal to a sin of omega t. you have to calculate the formula for the t dash. You know the definition that the velocity is equal to distance traversed divided by the time taken. So therefore your velocity is equal to distance is x and time is equal to t dash. So distance from here to here, let me call it as equal to the x. And therefore, which implies your t dash is equal to x by v. Substitute that value here. Therefore, you will get y is equal to a sine of omega t minus x by v is the very important equation for the progressive wave. It's a very important equation for the progressive wave. So that's all. That is t minus x by v. Your t minus t dash is the difference in the time from here to here. That is from here to here it has taken 3 seconds. And you can do it by even by the phase difference method also. Because when the particle is here, phase is 90. When the particle is here, phase is, let us say it is 30. When it comes over here, 180. So there is a phase difference. What is the difference? 180 minus 30 is equal to 150. Instead of expressing in angle, we have expressed it in time. That's all. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ಬರೆಯೋದು 5 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿದಾಗ ಇದೊಂದು ಈಕ್ವೇಷನ್ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಹೇಳಕ್ಕೆ in a progressive wave there is a continuous and regular change in the phase of a particle. Consider a particle having the displacement or the amplitude a and moving with a speed v along the x-axis. Then the displacement of this particle at any point is given by y is equal to a sine of omega t, where t is the time taken. You know that as the time passes, the wave advances. That means in your mind, you should remember this one. As the time passes, the disturbance moves. Therefore, when the disturbance is here, it will come little later on. Therefore, this point to this point, there is a time difference. And if you ask me, what's the displacement at this point? That displacement is given by y is equal to a sine of omega t minus t dash. So now what is the t dash? To calculate the t dash, look at this. Velocity is given by distance by time. V is equal to x by t dash. Your t dash is equal to x by v. Substitute that value in the equation number 2. Is the equation 2. So you will get the final value. This is the expression for the displacement of a progressive wave. You can get other forms using this equation. You shall call it as equal to, let me call it as note number 1. What is the other form? In this, what you do is you take the original, this one, y is equal to a sine of, in the place of omega, you put t by t into x by v. You expand this, y is equal to a sine of, retain 2 pi here, transfer 1 by t inside x by tv. Therefore, your a into sine of 2 pi t by t minus x by lambda. Very important equation. So this is another form. Very important form it is. X by lambda. If you ask me how do you get lambda, remember the equation just now we have derived. V is equal to lambda by t. Vt or tv is equal to lambda. This is the another important form. You must by heart all this format for your CET point of view. Now you look at the next form of this equation. So in the next form you remember your y is equal to a sine of, what you do is you transfer the 2 pi inside. Therefore, this is equal to 2 pi by t into t minus 2 pi by lambda into x. What I have done is I have transferred the t inside, that is 2 pi inside. Therefore, what I am going to get? Y is equal to a sine of, just now we have seen it is omega, and this we call it as a k into x. And this is the third form of the progressive wave equation. This is the first form, this is the second form, and that's the third form. You remember these 3 equations. When a problem is given, you just compare the given problem with any one of the equation, then you can solve the problem. Next is the what is known as this angular, this is called as a wave number. Here this k is equal to 2 pi by lambda. Remember, we have put omega is equal to 2 pi by t. And this we call it as an angular velocity. It is called angular velocity. When the same thing we read it as 2 pi f, it is called as an angular frequency. Both are one and the same. And next note is, you know that your k, we have put k in the place of 2 pi by lambda, and it is called as a wave number. It is called wave number. K is equal to 2 pi by lambda is called wave number. Simple definition of the wave number is just it is the wave number can be defined as the reciprocal of the wavelength. Reciprocal of the wavelength. Otherwise you can write lambda. That's all. Next other important heading is you can get an expression for the wave velocity. So expression for wave velocity. Expression for wave velocity. How do you get this one? Look here. Very easy. You know the meaning of omega. You know the k. You take this value. Take k, which is 2 pi by lambda. And this omega you take. You divide one by the other. So omega, you know that it is 2 pi by t. And k, 2 pi by lambda. So you divide one by the other. You divide. 2 pi get cancelled. What you are getting here is lambda by t. Therefore, your omega by k is equal to, you know that the lambda by 2 is equal to v. It's a very, very important expression. That is, you must remember this. K, omega by k is equal to v. That's all. Look, in your syllabus, there will be a 5 marks question as to derive an expression for the displacement of a progressive wave. Just now I explained you can arrive at this equation. Or else continue this, you can arrive at this equation. Or instead of doing that, you can directly come to this equation. You can derive in any one of the format you want. But basic format is, this is the one. That's all. And you must know the meaning of omega and k. Remember, omega and k, if you divide, you will get the wave velocity v. This is also very, very important. Now we shall take up the problems on the progressive wave. In the last heading you have discussed, you have seen that equation for the progressive wave. Now how to solve the problems? See, the problem is a progressive wave propagating in the positive x direction is given by y is equal to 4 sine of 2 pi t by 0.02 minus x by 20, where x and y are in meters and t is in seconds. Find. What? You find all. Let me say, what is that all and all? Look here, given the equation, first you write the given equation as y is equal to 4 sine of 2 pi into t by 0.02 minus x by 20. It's a given equation. You compare with any one of the 3 equations I have given. So look, it will match with the equation, general equation, y is equal to a sine of 2 pi t by t minus x by lambda. Look at that equation. Here, adjacent to the sine, you have 2 pi. Then you will find this is the equation. Look, in the place of a, you have got amplitude. Therefore, amplitude is given by. So amplitude is given by. Amplitude is a is equal to 4 meter. See, first you must remember this wave format. You remember this wave format. Here it is y-axis, here it is x-axis. He has said that amplitude, you know that amplitude is a is parallel to y-axis. What is the unit of y? Meter. He has said it is in meter. Therefore, unit of amplitude. So, unit of your amplitude is a is equal to 4 meter. Next, what you can calculate? Look, 2 pi is there, 2 pi is there, small t is there, small t is there. In the denominator, capital T is there, and respective to the capital T, I have 0.02. Therefore, the period here, the period capital T is equal to, so 0.02 seconds. Third one is, look at this. Here x is there, x is there. In the place of lambda, you have got 20. Therefore, your wavelength is, so wavelength is given by lambda is equal to 20 meters. 20 meters. Then, what you can calculate? You can calculate the frequency. How do you calculate the frequency? Your f is equal to 1 by t. 1 by t is equal to 0.02. Shift to 2 decimal places, 100 by 2, it is equal to 50 hertz. That's all. Then, what you can calculate? You can calculate the wave velocity. Then, what is the wave velocity? So, the wave velocity is v is equal to f lambda. Your f is equal to 50. Lambda is equal to 20. And therefore, it is equal to 1000 meters per second. So, these are all the things that can be asked in this problem. So, you can calculate everything. And in addition to that, in the same problem only, you can calculate omega and even the k also. How to calculate omega in this expression? Omega is equal to, you know that it is equal to 2 pi by t, or it is 2 pi f. 2 pi into your f is equal to 50, and therefore it is equal to 100 pi radians per second. So this is the omega, which we call it as an angular frequency. And then you can calculate the wave number. How do you calculate the wave number? Your k is equal to 2 pi by lambda. 2 pi by lambda is equal to 20. Calculate this. You will get pi by 10. What is the value of pi? 3.142 by 10. Therefore, it comes out to be 0.3142. So much radian per meter, or simply you can call it as per meter. This is the wave number. Therefore, that's all the questions that can be asked for you in this. At the most, what can be asked? Amplitude. What the unit of amplitude is? Meter. Then is a wavelength. Wavelength is parallel to what? X-axis. Whatever the unit x-axis is there, same is the unit for the wavelength. That's why it is meter. Time is in seconds. Rest of the things you can calculate very easily. That's all. It's a very important question for 5 marks. Therefore, what you can calculate here is, you can calculate amplitude, period, wavelength, frequency. From this equation, you can calculate period, wavelength, and the amplitude. Using those things, you can calculate frequency, you can calculate wave velocity, you can calculate the wave number, and you can calculate the angular frequency. It's a very important question. Then, next we come to the another problem. The another problem here is, this is the one. A wave, that is a traveling wave or a simple harmonic wave, is described by the equation y is equal to 2 sine of 50t minus 0.5x. Fine. What you can find? You can find everything for this. You look at the things, what it can be, what we can find from this one. Given the equation, you have to compare this equation. You should write, compare this equation with, compare this equation with. So, what is the equation that you can compare with? You can compare with here, this is y is equal to 2 sine of 50t minus 0.5x. This you can compare with the format y is equal to a sine of omega t minus kx. Now, you're comparing this one. You know that. In the place of a, amplitude, you have got 2 meter. So, amplitude is 2 meter. Then, what you can calculate, so this is the amplitude. A is equal to amplitude you have calculated. Then you can calculate omega. Omega is equal to 50 radians per second, and it is the angular velocity or angular frequency. And your k is equal to 0.5 radians per meter, and this is called as a wave number. So these things you can calculate. Not only that, you can calculate the velocity also. How do you give the velocity? Remember, your velocity is, wave velocity is given by the formula omega by k, and the omega is equal to 50, k is equal to 0.5, and that comes out to be 100 meters per second. So this is a wave velocity. So this is the velocity of the wave, and it is given by v is equal to omega by k. Very important it is. Using this you can also calculate the wavelength and other things also. How do you calculate the wavelength and the period? Using this you can calculate. Say, look here. Here in this omega, you know that your omega is equal to, we have given it as a 50 radians per second. What is the formula for the omega? It is 2 pi by t is equal to 50. Therefore your t is equal to 2 pi by 50. And that's equal to, you can call it as pi by 25 seconds. You work out that. So you will get the value. Then the next one is using the formula k is equal to, so k is equal to, we have given it, you have been given as 0.5. What is the value of k? 2 pi by lambda is equal to 0.5. So your lambda is equal to 2 pi by 0.5. And this is half. It comes out to be 4 pi meter. You can calculate anything using this one. If you are familiar with these two problems, you can calculate whatever the thing you want to calculate. That's all the problem. Now, after solving the problems, we take up the characteristics or properties, characteristics of progressive wave. See, this is very important for knowledge point of view, even from the examination point of view. First is that a progressive wave carry energy from one point to the other. It carry energy from one point to the other point, first point. And the velocity of a progressive wave can be given by this expression v is equal to E by rho, where E is called elastic moduli or elastic constant, you can call it as, and your rho is equal to density. That means any wave propagating, its velocity depends on the elastic constant or elastic moduli, and if the medium is highly elastic, wave moves faster. Depends on the density, means if the density is less, then the wave moves faster. And if you take any progressive wave, it carry energy from one point to the other point, means, look, what I am producing is a progressive. Actually, I am disturbing this air. This air is propagating in a medium. That is, you are, suppose if you are listening to my voice, means you are receiving energy. Therefore, this progressive wave is carrying energy from one point to the other point. Then, when a progressive wave is moving in the same medium, the progressive wave in the same medium, the progressive wave is propagating, its velocity, amplitude, wavelength, and frequency remains constant. Frequency remains constant. That means, same medium nalli hogta irbekadre ee wave yava property nu kuda change agalla. Andre if this is a wave, ee wave ಒಂದು ಆಂಪ್ಲಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ವೇವ್ ಲೆಂತ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಏನು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? ವೆನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರೆಸಿವ್ ವೇವ್ ಎಂಟರ್ಸ್ ಅದರ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಂ, ವೆನ್ ದ ವೇವ್ ಎಂಟರ್ಸ್ ಅದರ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಂ, ಅವಾಗ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇರಲಿ, ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆಂಪ್ಲಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ವೇವ್ ಲೆಂತ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ವೇವ್ಲೆಂತ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ frequency remains constant. Frequency remains constant. Very important thing. It is applicable for any kind of wave. Normally they will ask the question as to which quantity remains constant as a wave passes from one medium to the other medium. You must say frequency remains constant. That's all the answer should be given in one word. That frequency remains constant. This is applicable for any wave. For any wave. If you take light wave or if you take sound wave, whether it's a mechanical or non-mechanical, velocity, amplitude and wavelength changes, but the frequency does not change. Remember this point, very important. Then is, you got two types of equation. One is a longitudinal and other is a transverse. That as you know. You remember these important points. Next we come to other important subheading called as a principle of superposition. Very, very important. Principle of superposition. So, ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಇದರ ಅರ್ಥ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೂಪರ್ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಸೂಪರ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ಎರಡು ಅಥವಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ವೇವ್ಸು ಒಂದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಓವರ್ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓವರ್ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ ಆದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ದಟ್ಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೂಪರ್ಪೊಸಿಷನ್. ಇದೇನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಸಪೋಸ್ ಈಗ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ವೇವ್ ಇದೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ವೇವ್ which we call it as a first wave whose displacement is y1. ಇದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ವೇವ್ ಓವರ್ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Let us say it is another wave, maybe of same frequency, amplitude may be different. ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಓವರ್ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅವಾಗ ಎರಡು ಓವರ್ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ ಆದಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬರೋದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವೇವಿನ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಎರಡನೇ ವೇವ್ದು ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ರಿಸಲ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ರಿಸಲ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್. And this one is called as a resultant wave whose displacement is called as y. What does it mean? When two or more waves overlap agiddaga, you will get a resultant wave. What this principle says, according to this principle, look, we write like this. Your y is equal to y1 plus y2. That means resultant displacement is equal to vector sum of individual displacement. Then what is this y1? You should say where y is equal to resultant displacement, where y1 is equal to displacement of the first wave, and y2 is equal to displacement of the second wave. What is the statement? The statement is very easy. Now you look at the statement. You just look at this equation and give the statement. According to this statement, when two or more waves overlap one over the other, when two or more waves overlap one over the other, overlap one over the other, one over the other, what happens? Then resultant displacement, then resultant displacement is equal to, resultant displacement is equal to vector sum of, ಈ ತರ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಸಮ್, ಇದು ವೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ವೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ವೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್. This is a very important question for 2 marks, even it can be asked for 3 marks. See, look, very simple ಅರ್ಥ ಇದು. ಎರಡು ಅಥವಾ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ವೇವ್ಸ್ ಒಂದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಓವರ್ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ ಆದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು ಒಂದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಓವರ್ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ ಆದಾಗ ರಿಸಲ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ವೇವ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅವಾಗ ಈ ಲಾ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಈ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಅವಾಗ ಆ ರಿಸಲ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ ಅದು ಯಾರ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಓವರ್ಲ್ಯಾಪಿಂಗ್ ವೇವ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಅದನ್ನೇನೆ when statement is when two or more waves overlap one over the other, then resultant displacement is equal to vector sum of individual displacements. ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಈ ಈಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾತಾಡೋಕೆ ಕಲ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ದಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್. ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದಾಗ ಈ ಫಿಗರ್ ಬರೆದು ಇದನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅವಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ y ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, y1 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, y2 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು. y ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ವೇರ್ y is the displacement of resultant wave. Should say displacement of a resultant wave. y1 is equal to displacement of individual wave. y2 is also the displacement of the second wave. That's all. And then on this, then they'll ask you, what are the applications of this? Then you remember, applications for this are, where it is applied. Look, your stationary wave. In the stationary wave, there is a overlapping of the waves. Therefore, your stationary wave is based on the principle of superposition. Next, what you are getting is a beads. That is also based on the principle of superposition. Next is interference. This chapter called as interference comes in your second year PUC. All these things are based on the principle of superposition. Therefore, the meaning of sometimes you just if a question is asked that mention the two phenomenon based on the principle of superposition, you can say stationary wave, beads, any two you want. So this is very, very important thing. These are the properties of the progressive wave. Knowing these things, now we'll switch on to the other important heading called as a intensity of a wave. And that intensity of a wave is very important for you from the knowledge point of view, and even it is applicable for your sound also. So it is applicable for a sound or a wave, any kind of wave. Whatever the wave that we are now discussing is everything for any kind of wave it is applicable, whether it is a mechanical or non-mechanical. Now we take up the intensity. See, intensity of a wave is given by, so your formula for the intensity of a wave is, suppose if you take a light wave, if you want to ask me the definition of the intensity, and the intensity of a wave is denoted by I, it is nothing but the amount of energy given out or emitted per second per unit area of the body. Therefore, your I is equal to amount of energy emitted per second per unit area. And your this E by T, we can call it as a power. Therefore, your I is equal to P by A. Therefore, your another definition for the intensity is, it is nothing but the power per unit area. Is the power given out per unit area. This is another expression. And if you ask me what is a unit? Unit of power is watt. Unit of area is meter. If it comes to numerator, it is meter to the power of -2. So your intensity, unit of intensity is watt per meter square. Very important it is. Now, if you are given the wave format, if you are given this wave format, and you know that your A is the amplitude, and your wavelength is lambda, lambda is the wavelength, then what's the formula for that intensity? Intensity is given by the formula 2 pi square f square a square rho v. Very, very, very important formula. See, all these formulas are important not only from the examination point of view, even from the knowledge point of view. And if you are asked on what factors this intensity depends on, intensity is directly proportional to the frequency square. As the frequency increases, intensity increases. And intensity is directly proportional to the square of the amplitude. This is very important. It is very important in the second year PUC, in the interference, in the chapter called as interference, it's very important because your concept of interference pattern is depend on this intensity proportional to the square of the amplitude, and your I proportional to the density, and I proportional to the velocity. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಿದ್ರ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದಂಗೂ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೋಡಿ, ಯಾರು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ತುಂಬಾ ಹೈಯರ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಕೇಳಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ಮಸ್ಕಿಟೋ ನೋಡಿ, ಮಸ್ಕಿಟೋ ಏನು ಗುಯ್ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಮಸ್ಕಿಟೋದ ಹೈಯರ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಕೇಳಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಇಸ್ ಮೋರ್. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಿವಿ ಕೆಲವು ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿನ ಮಾತ್ರ ತಡ್ಕೊಳತ್ತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಟ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ಆಂಪ್ಲಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್, ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು. ನೋಡಿ, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಲುಕ್ ಎಟ್ ದ ಲಯನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಲುಕ್ ಎಟ್ ದ ಕ್ಯಾಟ್, lion has higher amplitude, cat has a lower amplitude but higher frequency, and it depends on the density and it depends on the velocity. Velocity means if the waves move faster, then the person will reach the intensity, the energy more faster, therefore intensity is more. Intensity is nothing but the amount of energy. Look, if I hold like this, here light is falling, intensity is more. That's the amount of energy so received per unit area per second is more. If you come over here, the intensity is less. Therefore, your intensity is just an amount of energy received per second per unit area. That's all. See, if you are close to me, your intensity, my intensity is more there because you have received more energy. If you are far away, ನೀನು ದೂರದಲ್ಲಿದ್ರೆ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಬರೀ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವ್ಯೂ ಒಂದೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವ್ಯೂನಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ತುಂಬ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. Now we take up sound. After knowing everything about the waves, now we shall take up the sound. If you are asked the question that what is meant by the sound, sound is the amount of sensation perceived by the sensing organ. It's the amount of sensation perceived by our sensing organ. By our sensing organ, namely ear, sensing organ. And if you are asked, there is an amount of sensation perceived. Because you know that if you talk little loudly, amount of sensation on your is more. You'll say, oh, voice is too louder. Then if it is little low, you say, oh, it's so less, it's so feeble, I can't hear. That means what it does? Sound is an energy, and that amount of energy, whatever our sensing organ receives, if it receives more energy and it will sense more, then we say the sound is more. That is, it is a sort of sensation, just like pinching. If you are pinched, oh, it pains a lot, that means sensation is more. So is the case with the sound. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಈ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಹೇಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್, sound cannot propagate or sound cannot travel through vacuum. It cannot travel through vacuum because sound is a mechanical wave. Sound is a mechanical wave and it requires medium for the propagation. Therefore, since it requires a medium means, then you will ask me, sir, what's the velocity of sound in air? Your velocity of sound in air, velocity of sound in air at 0 degrees Celsius. Remember, 0 degrees Celsius is V naught is equal to 332 meters per second. Remember, in air at a temperature of 0 degree, sound propagate 332 meters per second. ಅಂದ್ರೆ 1 ಸೆಕೆಂಡಿಗೆ 332 ಮೀಟರ್ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೇ ಲೈಟ್ ನೋಡಿ 1 ಸೆಕೆಂಡಿಗೆ 3 ಲಕ್ಷ ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಇರಲಿ. ಸೊ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಜಸ್ಟ್ 332 meters in 1 second. ಅಂಡ್ ಲೈಟ್ ಆದ್ರೆ 3 lakh kilometers in 1 second. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನೋಡಿ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗುಡುಗು ಮತ್ತೆ ಮಿಂಚುಗಳು ಬಂದಾಗ ಆ ಗುಡುಗು ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಲೇಟಾಗಿ ಕೇಳಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ಮಿಂಚ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. therefore lightning can be seen before the thunderbolt because of this reason, because your lightning is light of very high voltage and it propagates with 3 lakh kilometers per second. So your sound is a mechanical wave, means it requires a medium. It requires medium for its propagation. Then you will have a doubt, how it requires a medium? How can you say? Look here, very simple thing. Your heartbeat you cannot hear directly, but just you hold a pillow. If you hold the pillow, and you can hear the sound very easily, because pillow is a medium which can propagate the sound very easily. And if you look at the water, in water, velocity of sound in water is 4 times that in the air. Water is a very good medium for the propagation of the sound. If the velocity of sound at some temperature, let's say room temperature, if it is 350, but in water, its velocity is 4 times more. So therefore, around 1400 meters per second. And in iron, remember this is in water. And if you ask me in iron, velocity of sound in iron is 16 times that in the air. That means on a railway track, before coming the train, if you just hold your ear and if you listen to that, you can hear the sound that the train is coming, because your railway track is an iron where the sound propagates with a velocity 16 times that. I said, just hold your ear on the train, not while the train is coming, before the train comes. That means you can hear the sound in iron or in a railway track when it is around 5,500 meters. That is, when it is 5.5 kilometers away, you can hear the sound. So these are the important properties of the sound. Next is coming to the Newton's formula for the velocity of sound. It's very important. Newton's formula for the velocity of sound in air, for the velocity of sound in air. See, you know that many physicists studied about the sound and even its velocity and all. And you know that Arago, physicist by name Arago, experimentally noticed that velocity of sound in air at 0 degrees Celsius is 332. Newton attempted to give a theoretical formula for the velocity. And what Newton did is, see, in the expression for velocity of sound for a wave, that is V is equal to E by rho, Newton replaced your E by P, where P is called as a pressure. And he wrote an equation that V is equal to root of P by rho. And this is the Newton's formula for the velocity of sound in air, where P is equal to pressure and rho is equal to density of air. Newton, what he assumed is, when a wave is propagating in a medium, or when a sound is propagating in a medium, he assumed that an isothermal condition is maintained. And he applied Boyle's law. Isothermal condition is maintained, and he applied Boyle's law. So, applying the Boyle's law, he wrote this formula as V is equal to P by rho. And when at NTP, that is normal temperature and pressure, if you substitute for this one, that is at normal temperature and pressure means 1 atmosphere pressure, and that you convert it into the Pascal, 1.01 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per meter square. And your density of air is equal to 1.293 kg per meter cube. and the temperature is 273 Kelvin or 0 degrees Celsius, then if you substitute all these things, so we get the value to be equal to 1.01 into 10 to the power of 5 divided by 1.293. Newton got this value as, remember, it's very, very important formula. He got it as 281 meters per second. When he compared it with the experimental value, so look, between the theoretical value and experimental value, 332 meters per second is the experimental value, theoretical value is 281. There is going to be a 51 meters per second, which corresponds to a 16% error. This amount of error is not allowed in physics. Therefore, though Newton gave a formula assuming all these conditions, and we not allow this kind of error, then should we discard this Newton's formula? Illappa, discard ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೇಡ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಅವನೊಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಅಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಐಸೋಥರ್ಮಲ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿ, ಬಾಯ್ಸ್ ಲಾನು ಕೂಡ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿ, ಈ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಅನ್ನ ತೆಗೆದು ಪಿ ಇಂದ, ಸೊ ಈ ಇಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಬದಲಾಗಿ ಪಿ ಅಂತ ಬರೆದು ಹಿ ಗೇವ್ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ. ಬಟ್ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ದ ಥಿಯರಿಟಿಕಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಗೂ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಗೂ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್. ಅವಾಗ ಇದನ್ನ ಯಾರು ಕರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದಾಗ, ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ. ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ಹೌ ಹಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ. So how Laplace corrected Newton's formula, that we call it as a Laplace's correction. So how Laplace corrected this is a very good question, that why the Newton's formula is to be corrected. It should be corrected because between the theoretical value and the experimental value there is an error of 16%. In order to remove this error, so we have to correct this Newton's formula. How do you correct this one? What Laplace says is, the Newton's assumption of isothermal condition is wrong. Because these compressions and the rarefactions, you know that sound as a longitudinal wave moves as a series of compressions and the rarefactions. What Laplace says is, these compressions and rarefactions, suppose if you take a frequency of 512, he says per second, 512 compressions and 512 rarefactions are moving. Then in 1 second, how they equalize the temperature? Andre temperature ಒಂದಕ್ಕೊಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಈಕ್ವಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ? ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಐಸೋಥರ್ಮಲ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. Therefore Laplace said that we apply adiabatic condition. Adiabatic condition ಅನ್ನು ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿ Laplace wrote the formula that gamma p by rho. What he did is, Laplace replaced p is equal to gamma p anta bardu. He wrote a formula. This formula is also called as a Newton Laplace formula antanu kuda karitare. Because ಇದು ನ್ಯೂಟನ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾನೇ, but it was corrected by Laplace. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ it is Newton Laplace formula. ಅವಾಗ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಇದು ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ನ್ಯೂಟನ್ ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಗಾಮಾ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಗಾಮಾ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಸಿಪಿ ಬೈ ಸಿವಿ, ದಟ್ಸ್ ದ ರೇಷಿಯೋ ಆಫ್ ಟು ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಹೀಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಇದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಇವಾಗ ಎನ್ ಟಿ ಪಿ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ, ಇವನೇನೋ ಒಂದು ಈಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ, ಸರಿ ಇದೆಯೋ ಅಂತ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಎನ್ ಟಿ ಪಿ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕ್ತಿವಿ, ಅದೇ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಅದೇ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್, ಬಟ್ ಗಾಮಾ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು, ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ಗಾಮಾ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 1.4 ಫಾರ್ ಏರ್ ಅಂತ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ 1.4 ಗಾಮಾ ಇರೋದು ಡಯಾಟಮಿಕ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್. ಏರ್ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಡಯಾಟಮಿಕ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್. ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಲೈಕ್ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್, ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್, ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಡಯಾಟಮಿಕ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್. ಆವಾಗ we give it as V is equal to 1.4. It's 1.01 into 10 to the power of 5 whole divided by 1.293, and it is to work out ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, so we get a value 331 meters per second. This is the value he got. Look at the theoretical value 331, look at the experimental value 332, and therefore ಇವೆರಡು coincide ಆಗೋದ್ರಿಂದ Newton Laplace formula is the most agreed formula for the velocity of sound.